Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Gurudev.
Jayam Vishnupad Paramamsa Parivrajacharya Rastatara Sata Sri Śrīmad, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nitya-lila Pravisaram Vishnupad Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Kota Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, so we're on Canto 2, Chapter 6, Purusha Shukta confirmed, and Text 6, I think, is on the board. Yes. Bhagavo loka-pālānāṁ prāyaśaḥ I'm sorry, my eyes are... Karmaṇām. Okay. Bhagavo loka-pālānāṁ. Prāyaśaḥ kṣema-karmaṇām. Somebody. Bhagavatam, loka-pālānāṁ, of the governing deities of the planets, the demigods, the demigods. Prāyaśaḥ, almost always. Kṣema-karmaṇām, those who are leaders and protectors of the general mass. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. The Lord's arms are the productive fields for the great demigods and other leaders of living entities who protect the general mass. Please repeat. The Lord's arms are the productive fields for the great demigods and other leaders of the living entities who protect the general mass. Okay. Purport. This important verse of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is corroborated and nicely explained in the Bhagavad-gītā 10:41 and 42 as follows. Yad vibhūtimat sattvaṁ Śrīmad ūrjitam evāvagaccha evāvagaccha mam tejo ṁśa-sambhavam athavā bahunaitena jñātena tavārjuna viṣṭabhyāham idaṁ kṛṣṇam ekam sena stito jagat. There are many powerful kings or leaders, learned scholars, scientists, artists, engineers, inventors, excavators, archaeologists, industrialists, politicians, economists, business magnates, and many more powerful deities or demigods like Brahma, Shiva, Indra, Chandra, Surya, Varuṇa and Marut, who are all protecting the interest of the universal affairs of maintenance in different positions, and all of them are different powerful parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa is the father of all living entities, who are placed in different high and low positions according to their desires or aspirations. Some of them, as particularly mentioned above, are specifically endowed with powers by the will of the Lord. A sane person must know for certain that a living being however powerful he may be, is neither absolute nor independent. All living beings must accept the origin of their specific power as mentioned in this verse. And if they act accordingly, then simply by discharging their respective occupational duties, they can achieve the highest perfection of life, namely eternal life, complete knowledge, and inexhaustible blessings. As long as the powerful men of the world do not accept the origin of their respective powers, namely the personality of Godhead, the actions of Maya, illusion, will continue to act. The actions of Maya are such that a powerful person is misled by the illusory material energy, wrongly accepts himself as all in all, and does not develop God consciousness. As such, the false sense of egoism, namely myself and mine, has become overly prominent in the world, and there is a hard struggle for existence in human society. The intelligent class of men, therefore, must admit the Lord as the ultimate source of all energies, and thus pay tribute to the Lord for his good blessings. Simply by accepting the Lord as the supreme proprietor of everything, since he is actually so, one can achieve the highest perfection of life. Whatever a person may be, in the estimation of the social order of things, if a person tries to reciprocate a feeling of love towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead and is satisfied with the blessings of the Lord, he will at once feel the highest peace of mind for which he is hankering life after life. Peace of mind, or in other words, the healthy state of mind, can be achieved only when the mind is situated in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. The parts and parcels of the Lord are endowed with specific powers for rendering service unto the Lord, just as a big business magnate's sons are empowered with specific powers of administration. The obedient son of the Father never goes against the will of the Father, and therefore passes life very peacefully in concurrence with the head of the family, the Father. Similarly, the Lord being the Father, all living beings should fully and satisfactorily discharge the duty and the will of the Father as faithful sons. This very mentality will at once bring peace and prosperity to human society. Translation: the Lord's arms are the productive fields for the great demigods and other leaders of the living entities who protect the general mass. So Prabhupada mentions this is one of the important verses of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And he's giving in his purport, Prabhupada's giving an overview of how the universe actually works. The Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Bhagavad-gītā, etc., all give this conclusion as to what human life is and how everything is working around us. Because people are very interested in digging deeper into the structure of the universe, just like you've got this large hadron collider, which is, was built some years ago as a way of trying to find out how the particular universe is actually functioning. there's many attempts that spent, I think, $9 billion to build this Hadron Collider. And what it's meant to do is to try to split the atom. They try to crack open the particles of the universe, and by doing so, they gain control of it. That's their hope. I read an article, one scientist was being questioned about the Hadron Collider, and at the end of it, he asked the interviewer, sorry, the interviewee, sorry, I lost my track. The interviewer wanted to, he asked the scientist that was being interviewed, so what is this all for? What use is it? And the scientist immediately became very enlivened. He said, it's control. He was being asked, what are they doing this for, spending so much money and time and energy? And that was his answer, control. So this is the mentality of the ordinary living beings. Everything they want within their purview, they want to control it. There's excuse me a minute. You have to excuse me for one. All right. I'm sorry, my brain's just shutting down. Yes, that's everybody's desire. Thank you. I'm sorry, my brain doesn't work sometimes, so it's a bit awkward. But when Prabhupada was in France in 1976, he went to spend some days in the New Mayapur farming community. They had in those days a school with about 40 or 50 kids in it, and they had a darshan with Srila Prabhupada in the afternoon one day, and Prabhupada preached to them about how everybody's trying to become a master, whereas actually everybody's a servant. And he said, the world is full of living beings who want to play this mastership game. They're just like all the different big leaders of society, which is, I mean, there's a whole list here of personalities and their positions. So Prabhupada was telling that these are just small children, but he didn't hesitate to, he didn't try to, change the language to make it simplified for the kids to understand. He just preached to them the same way that he preached to any visitor that's came. And he told them that this is the mistake of materialists, that they think that they can gain control, or they get this mastership control. But actually, there's no such thing as any living being being the master of his situation. The scientists want to do that with these quantum mechanics and various other fields of study and science. They think that by entering more and more deeply into the structure of the universe, then they'll find out ultimately what makes it work. That's their plan. That somehow or another, although right now they haven't discovered, or they haven't come up with a theory that covers all of the situation of the cause and effects of this universe, still they're feeling confident that if they just go ahead with these attempts to split the atom, they're trying to get deeper and deeper into the nature of the atoms and how they work. But after so many years of trying and so much expenditure, they still don't know exactly how these aspects of energy work. There's, what's it called? This is, sorry, this is, let's see. I'm sorry, this is a bit embarrassing sometimes. Yes. Yeah, quantum mechanics and other fields of science. Anyway, the idea is that they're trying to understand there's different fields of energies that they've identified. They call them the strong, the weak, gravity, etc. So by understanding these particles of matter, they observe that there's some movement going on there, and they want to find out what's causing things to move, how they work in the real world by I'm sorry. I have to apologize. This is one of those things that happens sometimes. Rameshwara Maharaj.
Principles of the material energy. And he called them laws of gravity, laws of thermodynamics. You started listing some of them. So Srupdaman are listed like 25 different principles or laws. And then he just asked, because he was talking to scientists, then he just asked a simple question. Okay, there are these laws. Who has made them laws? Who is the law giver?
Yes.
And that's what they're missing.
Yes, all right, thank you very much. I'm a bit incoherent right now. It sometimes happens. Anyway, the idea is that this description of the Purusha Shukta, and we read how the different aspects of the universe are all somehow or another linked together. So that Purusha Shukta description, it's very difficult to understand how everything is linked together, how all the different energies of the universe are affecting each other. All right, I'm sorry, I'm gonna...
On behalf of, I think, many of us, could you share some of your sweetest memories of what you were serving? You were his servant. You traveled and lived with him. And we're always anxious to hear that nectar. If you could just tell us some Prabhupada stories. Hare Krishna.
Well, you're very kind. I'm sorry, I just, it's gone. All right, I'm going to stop. I really don't feel it would do justice to try to speak. Yeah, thank you very much. But let's see if we can take a few questions. If anybody's got a question or an explanation.
I remember once I was in Srila Prabhupada's room, and he went to this is in Los Angeles, and he was just coming out of his back room where he keeps his library, his armoire is there, one of the ocean trunks from the steamer travels was there, and he came out wearing this magnificent kurta and dhoti, and it was just dazzling, it was effulgent. I was stunned. I was seeing effulgence in the whole room from Prabhupada just walking in towards us. And I said, Srila Prabhupada, you look like the greatest king. And Prabhupada did not smile. Instead, he looked at me very gravely and he said, I am much more than a king. So those were the kinds of exchanges that you had every day with Prabhupada. I just wanted to share one of them. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Shri Prabhu, for your class. And actually, it seems that these scientists, they are trying to not find God. They are making experiments, and they are trying to not find God. So there is this, like, pious scientists that are not very prominent, and these materialistic ones that are very prominent in this Kali Yuga. So, are they not like children? And sometimes children, they want to make stupid things like put their fingers in the plug, electricity plug, and we know Prabhupada was very hard on preaching to them. Against them, correcting them, criticizing them. But sometimes it seems to me, because they have so much knowledge from Srila Prabhupada, we have books that are distributed for about 40 years or more. Most of them, they had the chance to read a book, and those who are inquiring, they can find the books are very easy to find. And should we just let them do their thing and we do our thing? What do you think about that?
Let them do it. You're talking about when we're out preaching?
Yes. Because they continue to do their materialistic experiments. They continue to try to not find God. And we already preaching for about 40 years. The books have been widely distributed. They are still being distributed, and they will continue to be distributed for hundreds of years, I think, or thousands, I hope. And they are just very stubbornly continuing to not find God, to try to try to find materialistic explanations which will prove that there is no God. And should we just continue to try to preach to them, or we should just let them like children? Sometimes you let children, okay, this is hot, don't touch it, and the child still want to touch it, okay, then touch it. So I don't know, it's my thinking right now. Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you. Anybody got a comment?
Thank you for that question. I remember one time a few of the devotees had brought to Srila Prabhupada in New Dwarka. We had a garden, and he liked to sit in that garden. So we brought before him 4 really renowned university professors. There's great universities in California. And we had chairs, they were sitting, they had respect for Prabhupada, and they were sitting there having exchanges. And then in the middle of it, Prabhupada said, you are all teachers by profession. You're teachers. He said, do you understand the movement of the life force throughout the universe? What laws control it? What makes it move? What makes it take another birth? Do you know any of that? And they said, well, not really. And then Prabhupada said, would you agree that if someone claims to be a teacher and does not know the science that he's supposed to be teaching, he's nothing more than a rogue and a rascal? He said those very words to them. There's still some Judah and 3 other professors. They were shocked. Is Prabhupada like, what does he do? What is he saying about us? And then Prabhupada, very nicely but with gravity, started to explain, you professors are just like little frogs in a well. And then he explained, you think you know something, you only know the water in your well. There's unlimited ocean you have no idea about. That's your position. And when Prabhupada finished calling them rogues and rascals, as only he could do, at least 2 or 3 of them got off their chairs, put their heads into the grass, and bowed down before him. So sometimes when you say, they're acting like children, should we not preach to them? Well, it just reminded me how Prabhupada once preached to them. Hare Krishna.
Anybody?
Thank you very much, Hari Sauri Prabhu. Really appreciate your scientific analytical classes. Hope you will continue. I just wanted to add on the hydrogen collider effect. Actually, finding the source of the universe or whatever was just a facade. The real purpose was to open the portals to let the negative entities come in who feed on loose. Loose is the negative energy that people release when they are sad, angry, and they feed on these, and those are the people they control. So luckily, by Lord Chaitanya's mercy, these people were stopped, and the hydrogen collider is stopped. And the proof I can tell you is that they have a statue of Lord Shiva there, which is used as the sign of destruction of the universe. So that's what they were trying to do, but luckily it is stopped now. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Aisha? Aisha?
Maybe 15 years ago, His Holiness Jaipataka Maharaj asked Srimad Hari Sauri Prabhu to put together a group of devotees who would develop gradually an entire museum centered around explaining the fantastic chandelier that's going to be hanging in the temple of the Vedic planetarium. So Hari Sauri, just by his invite, no one could say no. That was because he was so close to Prabhupada that it was irresistible. So he said, Rabindra Sarup, please be on this committee. Yes. Yogeshwar, please be on this committee. On and on, he brought together so many devotees. Antar Dweep, please be on this committee. He had designed the whole chandelier. Dhruta Karma, please be on this committee. Bhadraj, please be on this committee. So gradually, he created a committee from around the planet from Australia, from India, from North America, South America, all over Europe. He just put together this committee. They've been working for 15 years. He's our vice chairman. To this day, he attends every meeting. These are Zoom weekly meetings. And he keeps us on track to always explain what is missing in the world of modern science, because they do not know God and they don't accept the existence of a soul or spirit. Therefore, they have only imagined a universe which has absolutely no purpose at all. They have described so many stars and planets all around the universe that have absolutely no purpose at all. They have no explanations. Now I am on this committee, which is why I'm saying this. He has kept us on track for 15 years, including when we couldn't come to Mayapur to meet, which we did every year during the COVID years. And just on behalf of all the devotees, I want to really thank you for creating this committee. We've written a 140-page narrative of everything about Vedic cosmology and life within the universe and beyond. And that's his leadership. Hare Krishna. Shriman Hari Sauri Prabhu ki jai.
Hey, Sean, at the back.
Thank you very much, Hari Sauri Prabhu. I have a question. In the Bhagavatam, it's mentioned that Lord Brahma is the control for the mode of passion, and Shiva is for destruction, and Vishnu is the control for the mode for maintenance. Could you explain a little to us how Lord Vishnu is maintaining everything? How he appears as a maintainer?
I probably could if my brain was working, but you have to excuse me. There's something not.
Here's what he would say, because I've heard him say this. He has described to us at different times in our weekly meetings, for now 15-year weekly meetings, he has described that Lord Vishnu, the supreme maintainer, is all-pervading. He's entered into everything. He's entered inside the heart of the jiva, who are scattered all over the universe. He's entered inside the atom. He is truly all-pervading. And the energies that are manifest in the universe come from him. They come out of him. So naturally, he's in charge. He's controlling those energies. And he's also all-knowing, being inside every living being. He knows their entire past, all their past lives, which we can never remember. He knows every single thing we are thinking about in this current life and doing, and what desires we're fighting against or giving into. And he knows our future lives if we don't become liberated. So in this way, he's omniscient, he's all-pervading, and by his direction, the energies produce all the necessities of life on every planet, the fire planet, the sun, the moon planet. Every planet is teeming with life, and the Lord perfectly manifests foodstuffs and a type of air, obviously not the air that we know on the earthly realm, for the existence of their bodies. I've heard him explain it like that, so I think that's how he would answer you, that he is the maintainer of everyone, because he is providing the land that we live in, the bodies that we travel in, the food that we eat, the air that we breathe. And in that way, he's put this into our narrative. So when people go through the museum, they're going to understand that food just doesn't appear by chance. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. With your permission, I'm going to stop now. Thank you.